If I had $1,000 budget to spend on my Jeep Grand Cherokee for some mods, here's what I would do. Now with $1,000, there's plenty of things that you could do to these Jeep Grand Cherokees because a lot of it's cheap. Now, depends what you're gonna be doing it on. If it's a very, stock altitude, then you have plenty of things you could do for cheap. Reference my previous videos and the Jeep playlist. I think there's like 200 videos of things you guys could do. So if you are looking for things to do for your Jeep, check those out. And also everything in this video will be linked on Amazon or wherever you can get it, linked down below. Now, as usual, one of the first things that I always recommend is that you guys tint your windows. So you guys can see the front two windows here. Because if you do have a Jeep Grand Cherokee, lucky enough for you, the back is gonna come already tinted. So we're gonna be talking about just getting the tinted windows. Now, I've made a video very similar to this one before. New equipment, new vehicle, SRT baby, we got new content to make. So we're back at it once again, and we got some new things we can talk about. So the window tint, right? This is gonna be one that I absolutely recommend everyone does. Now, the windshield is not for everybody. I will say that. I always say to do it because it does look good. Obviously mine's got some issues going on over here, but just ignore that, and just the overall look of it, it's something I recommend. If you guys do think you might want the windshield tint, I would say go for it. 35% is good, and do a little bit of 20% on the sides. Now for some of you, it might be good to go ahead and get that 5% tint all the way around, maybe not the windshield. You will get hassled a little bit more no matter where you are, but it is something that you guys could think about. So if you are in the market for window tint, then definitely go ahead and do it. At least get the sides two done with 20 to match the back, and call it a day. You shouldn't get hassled too much. Sticking alongside that is going to be just to tint out everything that you can. Now, for me at least, it doesn't matter what vehicle it is, I personally think that you should tint out everything. Now, there's certain things that I could still tint out, like the fog lights down here. These could probably get tinted a little bit more, but you can see the reflector tint there. Obviously linked down below for all this stuff. Like I said, this here is tinted out, and then going around to the back, this is where you're gonna really see those gains when you start to tint things. Now these are cheap to do. I mean, you could 10, 15 bucks. This one might be like 30 to 50 bucks. I'm gonna be honest, the whole kit, because it's got some vinyl and all that going on. But tint there, tint in the middle, tint there. You got that tinted, you got the tinted plate, all this stuff linked down below. Like I said, that's the biggest thing. You can get most of this stuff on Amazon, and most of it is less than $15. So if you have a $1,000 budget, you have plenty of things you guys can do. So that's why I stress that enough, like so much in these videos, and I can't stress it enough to you guys, is that like you don't need a big budget to do mods on the Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is awesome. I am obviously running into the issue where it's an SRT, so a lot of the things that I want to do are bigger, more expensive mods, so we are having to plan and calculate those a little bit more than my altitude, and start doing the little stuff. But tinted plate, these are the things you can do. There's so much. Like, what are we at right now? Say even if we total up all the tint, $100, window tint on the sides, maybe you're at 100, 150. Right there, just with those two things, you're maybe at $200. So you're at 20% of your budget, and you already have a bunch of stuff. You're already changing the look of it, and it's starting to come together. Now, unfortunately, if you do have a white Jeep, you're gonna end up with this exact look that every other person that has a white Jeep Grand Cherokee ends up with, where it's just white and black. So I need to customize that. I need to do something about that. So if you have any ideas, let me know down below. Should I wrap it? I'm thinking camo wrap. I got a couple cool ideas that would be really, really awesome and really, really stand out. Or two, I just try and do a full wrap on it, which I'm gonna be honest, there's a low chance that that happens, but let me know down below what you guys think, and I can see what I'm gonna do. Now, keeping along with that, I do say go ahead and do some lugs, because $1,000, you can get some black lugs if you have black wheels. If you don't have black wheels, maybe don't do the black lugs. I guess you could, but just black lugs if you have black wheels. Always gonna throw that in there. That is always gonna be one of the things that I say to do right off the bat. And like I said, $1,000 is gonna go a long way. Depending on which vehicle you do have as well, like which trim model of the Jeep Grand Cherokee that you have. Maybe you have the new Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I will be having a lot of videos coming with that soon. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting one. I'm just saying there's gonna be a lot of videos coming with one soon. But depending on which one you have, you could go ahead and get yourself some new tires. These are just the stock OEM ones. I haven't replaced them. These ones are not in that $1,000 budget. You could basically just take that entire $1,000 budget though, if you have a different trim model, and spend like 200 bucks a tire, and then be at 800, do the other things, boom, you're done, your budget's done, completely whooped. But there's plenty of other small stuff that you can do. Things such as debadging it if you don't want the badges on the sides, or if you don't want the Jeep logo on the front here, then you can go ahead and do that, and that's pretty much free. That's gonna cost you maybe, I think you need a heat gun, link down below, and maybe a few other things like some fishing line, and that's about it. So you can get it done for super cheap. It's not like anything crazy. You guys know that I want to go outside of my budget here so bad and talk about a few different things you guys could do. Things like the Borla Attack exhaust. You have the SRT. If you don't have an SRT, then there's plenty of other things that you could do as well, but that's just one of them that you could do, is the Borla Attack. Now, if you don't have SRT, you probably wouldn't want to go with the Borla Attack, but there are plenty of other options that you could go with. I had the AFE Power, I believe it was, AFE, I don't know, something like that on my previous Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude. So, you know, there's other options, but like I said, they're gonna be over that $1,000 budget, but it's so bad, I wanna put those in there. But let's jump under the hood, and that's where we can talk about a few more things that you could squeeze in there that will upgrade your performance and your overall abilities with this vehicle. Now, getting under the hood here, there's a couple different things that we can do. One, if you have the SRT, maybe you have the 5.7, either of those engines, I would recommend you do this. They do have a V6 version. If you do have the 3.6 liter V6 and you want to go ahead and slap one of those in there, you can. It's going to overall just save your engine with a little bit of trouble, and just can help your longevity of your engine. Now, that's one thing that I would say you could do, but that's probably going to cost you roughly maybe $300 could get it on the low end for around $100, but either way, you put that in there with the other things. Right now you're at about 400 500 max right there, and you got this thing looking good. Again, you know, with that, the blacking everything out, which is, I don't know why, that's just my thing. I always like to black everything out, but we might be changing that color scheme up soon, so stay tuned. But down here you can do the little honeycomb things in black. Again, have a video up there on that one, so if you do want to check that out, make sure you check it out in the Jeep playlist. Should pop up sometime during this video. Now, the other thing that I could say is the cold air intake, because this thing can go for everything. You guys can see I don't even have a cold air intake, and I'm telling you guys to get a cold air intake. Now, that's just because I simply just haven't had the $300, $400, $500 to spend on it. And also in my case, with the SRT, even though I have the dirtiest engine bay in the history of engine bays, I do want to do one of the nice ones, or at least somewhat nice. So I'm doing a little bit of research that will be coming shortly, because I do want some more sound up here in the front, because this thing sounds so good, and it just needs that little at front, you know? Now, K&N does offer a really nice intake for the 3.6 liter V6. So if you guys do have that, you can still get a little bit of performance, a little bit more sound out of it, and you're still under that $1,000 budget. So if you do want a little bit more sound without breaking the bank with the exhaust quite yet, then go ahead and get yourself just a little intake in there, and you guys will be pumping. I mean, I loved it. Check again all the videos on the channel, you just go check them out. Now, going inside, I will say I don't have anything in here right now, which is something that's strange for me, because usually I have tons of mods done by now, but we've been busy, boys. We've been busy. Videos coming like crazy soon. I missed it, and I am so ready to just crank out content for you guys. Now, mentioning that, my previous Jeep, I keep mentioning back to that, because anything I don't have on here, I'm going to say that you should probably do, because I loved it on that one. And if I'm going to recommend it, then I'm going to recommend it. So, like I said, everything linked down below. One thing is going to be a throttle controller, which is just going to increase your throttle response. So, since this is an electric throttle down there, when you go ahead and press on the gas, you're going to kind of feel a little bit of delay, a little bit of lag. You can actually remove that and make it a little bit more touchy, and overall it can make your performance a little bit better, no matter if you have a 3.6 liter, 5.7, 6.4, 6.2. Maybe you got a Trackhawk and you're watching these videos. If you do, then f you, because I want one, but I just, you know, I wasn't able to make the cut, man. I just wasn't not good enough. Now, if you want another really quick idea, that's going to be these floor mats. Not these particular ones or anything, just floor mats in general. The all-weather floor mats, whether you live in a place that you're going to get snow or not, I definitely recommend it. Now, the reason that I say that you should go ahead and get yourself some all-weather floor mats is just to protect them. I mean, you get the entire floor covered and lined. I mean, front and back, and they're so easy to clean, super easy to wash, and overall I really think that all-weather floor mats, like I said, no matter where you are a good thing, because you might be in the beach and you might get some sand in there. It's so easy to clean. They fit nicely, they look good, and overall performance of them is gonna just be so much better than carpet ones. I had the nice SRT ones that came with the Jeep, and it was a little bit sad to take them out, I'm gonna be honest, because those are like the SRT ones, man, and they're nice, but it's fine, guys, it's fine. Now, as far as the main things go, that's pretty much what I have to say for you guys. I mean, there's not too much that I would do for $1,000. I mean, there's a lot of cosmetic things. There's a few performance things you can mix in there. Like I said, one's good for the engine, one's good for adding in a little bit of sound and a little bit of performance maybe. And then the rest of it is pretty much going to be just cosmetic, which I think your first $1,000 usually is going to go to cosmetic because performance stuff is going to be a lot more pricey and a lot more taxing. So that's where you're going to kind of run into those higher prices. So if you guys want to see a $5,000 budget, and I can go ahead and talk about some more performance things you guys can do, make sure you do let me know down in the comment section down below. Of course, like the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
She get to the cash when she walk. She look like a bad when she walk. She get to the cash when she walk. She look like a bad when she walk. Girl, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Girl, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Yeah, we get to it.